Well, it's Thursday, so it's time for a sketching and drawing video. I'm out on my ranch today and decided that I would go outside and enjoy the lovely view, the lovely weather, and draw outside today. So I just took my sketchbook and a box of Cretacolor pencils and I'm not sure what you call these, pastel crayons or charcoal sticks, but I first decided I've also got this little sketchbook here, and I tried to do graphite, but it was just too light, so I switched to the charcoal. Also liked the rougher tone of the charcoal. And the two things I decided I would sketch are this bunch of hay bales out here. And I counted first of all to see how many there were, because I knew I was going to spend a lot of time on the details being the hay bales. And I counted about 70 in plain sight, and decided that would be a great project for getting me out of the left side of my brain, not by counting but just focusing on just the minute detail of drawing each one of those in, and shading them. So I did work on that, and that was quite interesting. So what I discovered while doing that, first I'll just show you the picture again. So I discovered several things. One thing I discovered is that it was really hard to get the detail with the fatter crayon that has a rougher texture, and I knew that I could get a lot more detail if I had switched back to my graphite pencil. But I decided that for my practice, it would be better for me to just focus on doing the best I could with this pencil. And I know I always do a lot of analogies relating to sports because I've done a lot of sports. And I was thinking today about when I learned to swim, and how one of the drills we would do is to scull with a fist. So instead of having your hand open, you would actually make a fist while you swam. And what that would do is force you to use your forearms to scull through the water and try to catch the water with your forearms, and teach you to use not just rely on your hand as the paddle, but your whole arm. And so I kind of felt like that was a good analogy for using this fatter crayon, and just trying to get as much leverage out of it that I could before trying to switch and just immediately go to a finer detailed instrument. So that was the first thing. Another thing that happened is I actually ran out of space. I went from left to right just like I would do while reading, and about here is where I stopped, and this is supposed to be my little line of trees, which is right over there, and I missed this whole section right here of I ran out of space, just like you would do if you were writing, like little kids do when they're writing, learning their handwriting, and they are always, going back to the next row because they wrote their letters so large that they ran out of room. That's exactly what I did here. So I thought that was a little amusing. And what else can I say? I tried to just focus on the practice and not be too hard on myself about perfecting anything. I did put some weeds in the foreground just because we've got them right here, just to give it a little bit of the space, or the perception depth, or depth perception. And I just left the line drawing without any shadowing or shading for the rest of the work. So the next thing I did was this right here, which is a pivot that sprays water, and kind of goes around in circles and sprays water on the hay field. So I thought this would be a great exercise in perception, just because it goes, there's a lot of geometric shapes, but they get smaller and go back into space. And then you've got this wide open space also. And so yeah, I started that. I really struggle with sitting and doing lots of details. I have my whole life, as far as sitting still as a child or anything. It's very good exercise for me. So this project didn't turn out very beautiful at all. I got very frustrated, but it's still valuable exercise. I realized as I was going back into space, and I didn't use an eraser, so I have a lot of errors actually that I left. So for example, I think that I first drew I kind of erased right here. I had two lines going down like this, but they really go out, as you can see, kind of like a V shape on the little ladder that's attached to the wheel segment. And so also I noticed that just because of my left brain getting in the way, I was making it go down the hill. But in real life, and so I just kind of stopped that whole part. In real life, I'll show you here. We've got this first set of wheels, and then the only other wheel I see in this whole line, which I have no idea how many sections there are to this thing, but there's quite a few. I mean, this could go half a mile for all I know. But you only see one more wheel. And I was making it go. In fact, as you can see the top, it kind of curves back around, and I was having it go trail way out to the left here, and that's just my left brain. I mean, it's so obvious when I'm looking at what I did. I think that's the most valuable thing about this whole thing. Forget about the wheels that I did, and you know, not putting in the treads or anything. All the detail. I think that's the most pronounced and most important information that I gained from this exercise today. So another thing that, I'll just turn it around, I felt was really valuable with this exercise is going from kind of macro to micro. So I've been doing a lot more detail, like, you know, faces and eyes and ears, and then to do this wide open space. I mean, that's quite an adjustment, maybe even a shock to the system for some people. So I think that's really good practice. And again, relating it back to my activities in ballet, I've watched some of the prima ballerinas on YouTube, and how some of the best ones, they can just do this huge leap and then this very detailed little section of fast steps, and even like spin on a dime, and then boom, they just stop on a dime also. And so I think it's really good exercise to do that, to be able to adjust quickly to different drawing settings. And yeah, I mean, it's all good. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video and that it was helpful to you, and thanks for watching.